Okie dokie, hello! Welcome, everyone. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, you're listening and watching Liquid Lunch on Biz TV, Biz Talk Radio, on new friends out there in Oregon. Yeah, that's right. It's Johnny T, your favorite paisan. You could say it. I know all your friends are saying it. How are you listening to that guy with that crazy accent on him? But we're just like you. We just talk a little different, that's for sure. Lots of good stuff going on the commercials during the show. We do stay live on Facebook, and I have a little more intimate discussion with the social media audience, if you know what I'm saying. Today, I am adorned in my Freddy's Pork Store and Salameria hat. Because I almost feel like the national level is so bad right now, we don't even know what's happening. There's like 5D chess going on over there. They're trying to impeach, not impeach. They're trying to talk Pence into 25th Amendment to say Trump is crazy. It's crazy, okay? So I'm trying to bring it back to local a little bit and talk about, like we need our own communities that are barren of the oversight of the technocracy, because that's what we're going into with technocracy right now, okay? And it seems like, if you ever were on Twitter and you put up a tweet that showed that you were supportive of Donald Trump and reference like MAGA, like MAGA, Make America Great Again, anything like that, Twitter is now like looking for you. It's like to them, it's like the mark of the beast. You know what I'm saying? The old book, what was it called? The Scarlet Letter. Like if a woman in the old days was determined to be a floozy, I think they put an A on her for adulterer. You know what I'm saying? And now they're tagging or looking for people that were MAGAites. So this person is a MAGA-er. We may have to wear an M on our shirts. But the FBI now has put out a list of MAGA most wanted from yesterday, and they're considering adding President Trump. Daily Mail reports FBI has a list of MAGA most wanted. Daily Mail reported today's list from the FBI of their most wanted, this via the Gateway Pundit. So apparently the FBI is now taking this protest stuff seriously, okay? And by the way, son of a cop, talked about it many times, businesses are dead. I can tell you this. Businesses are dead. As much as, the states, the red states, they're just going at it. Florida is outpacing New York and almost every state by a landslide in giving out the vaccine and economic growth, okay? And yes, people are dying. It's terrible. I think 28,000 people have died in Florida. 44,000 have died in New York State. I mean, one of the number one territories in the world for deaths under the leadership of Andrew Cuomo. But Andrew Cuomo has now decided that maybe we can open businesses again. I guess now that Joe Biden is president, he wants to look good with the Dem crowd. But GFX6 this is a tweet from this maniac, this bipolar, psychotic governor in New York. We simply cannot stay closed until the vaccine hits critical mass. The cost is too high. We have nothing left to open. We must reopen the economy, but we must do it smartly and safely. This is Andrew Cuomo, the guy who has literally been murdering small businesses, bars, restaurants, salon, anything non-essential that have been getting murdered, to the point of where I am in Mac's Pub in Staten Island, New York. He arrested the owner 2 times now. Okay, but now all of a sudden, it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life for you and me. I guess now he wants to take a walk on the nice side of things. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you, Gina. Gina said that was a good voiceover. I could do a better Cuomo. Frankie Morano, my good buddy, host of the Other Side of Midnight on 77 WABC Radio. I heard here in New York on the Red Apple Radio Network. Frankie does a spot-on Cuomo. Like if you tune into his show and hear his Cuomo, you think it's Cuomo. Really good. But, I want to stay a little more focused on the cashola in your pocket because we're at a point right now where the cities and states like Oregon and California and New York, all these blue cities and blue states are talking about how they need federal bailouts, okay? The dirty little secret is if some of these states don't get a bailout, their pension systems are going to collapse. Okay? The biggest ticking time bomb in America right now, trust me when I tell you, is the public employee retirement systems of this country, which have been fleeced over the years, especially in blue states like New York State and California and Oregon and Washington and others. Massive deficits. People don't even know there's a pile of IOUs slammed into all the retirement system. And I think, I was on, here in New York, I was on Governor David Patterson's New York State Pension Reform Task Force. And fortunately, David Patterson was an ingenious guy, out-of-the-box thinker, and he wanted to look at this. And he decided not to run for a second term, so the task force was dismantled. But at the same time, what we were looking at in the New York State pension plan, the good men and women of all of our civil services here in New York would literally vomit if they realized how little money is there as compared to how much money is supposed to be paid out. So that's why you see these calls from cities and states for federal funding, because they got to plug huge holes in their pension plans. Because if people just say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to just go to early retirement, and they got these actuary models that say you're going to need this much money, this much money, this much money, if like 5% more of the people decide to go for retirement that weren't planned for in this year, like I had enough. I'm getting out of New York. I don't care. I'm taking early retirement. I'm going to pay the penalty on the money for the next 5 years because I just want to live carefree and clear-headed. I'm moving to Florida. If 5% of the people, any of the states that have deficits in their plans, which is like 90% of the states in America have deficits in their retirement systems, if like 5% of the people ask for money that weren't supposed to, or at least weren't hypothesized to ask for it in that year, the entire system will collapse. And then people will all be running there again to go get their money, and that money's not there, so that foments more people to try to pull out at the same time. And that's like what they call a run on the bank. In this case, it would be a run on the pension. But as I told you yesterday, if you're getting to cash, try to use a normalized system of taking out smaller denominations of cash and keep some cash around the house because it's nice to have. But the same thing with your pension. Take a look at what's happening there. Go into the financials. Like here in New York City, you would go into the New York City Controller's Report. And when I go through the New York City Controller's Report and look at the type of waste, fraud, and abuse that's going on in their spending for investments, I want to vomit. And then the New York State Comptroller, because of the way many of these states have their city and state retirement systems all discombobulated, it kind of all funnels up to the state comptroller. And I think Tom DiNapoli here in New York is, a nice enough guy, but doesn't even realize, I think, the Bunsen burner that's underneath, one of the largest pension plans. I think it's $150 billion here in New York State. But keep your eye on your pension. Look at it. See if it's funded. The New York State Constitution says that the pension plan has to be funded. But they figure out ways around it where they kind of borrow from it and stick an IOU in there. So that's where the trouble begins. And across the country, we're facing some really serious straits. One thing that you do need to know is that there's lots of opportunity out there. You just got to do your homework, educate yourself, and they'll come to you, and I can help you. And I rattled off some names today, long, shorts, and otherwise, that you might want to take a look at. I get, these monster lists every morning of what people around the world are looking to short sell for that day, so I want to try to share some of that stuff with you, too. All that, and a lot more. We'll come back and wrap up hour one right after this.